Hey guys, last week was King of the Goats. I ran this truck really hard. A few things that you will notice is that I did swap out the tires. That was because I was just getting sick of chasing the axial BFG bead problem. I really like those tires, but I need to get a wheel that they hold better on. So for the event, I swapped out to a set of these pins. These are the Voodoo. This is a blue compound, but anyway, that's here nor there. The BFGs will find their way back on this truck. I promise. This was just something I had laying around, and I think it was going to be a good choice for that event. This week, instead of doing some mods that cost me money, I'm going to do mods that are free. The reason being is that after King of the Goats, I established a few things with this truck that I want to change to be more competitive in that style of event, which is I need more power. I need more straight line speed mostly. And then some additional torque will come out of that based on the setup that I plan to run. But those things are going to cost more than that $50 a week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do those upgrades this week that don't cost me anything, and then that'll help me roll the budget in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this body to allow me to open the hood without removing the sides. This body's getting trashed. I've got a rip here in the front corner. I completely ripped off this corner of the grill at the event. And beyond that, it's just getting pretty ragged in general. So I want to get those things, I want to get that cut up. We'll see how it works. If it works well, when I replace the body, I'll do the same type of thing. So typically when I was running this body, what I was doing was leaving the screws in one side of the body, like this side for example, and then only removing, and then I was only putting a couple in the other side, and then I would just remove those and then just stretch the body over to get to my underhood battery and all that type of stuff. Not that hard to do, but still a pain nonetheless, especially when I was running 10 laps or so at Goat Hill, and I was having to remove and install each time I wanted to do that. So like I was saying, this body is getting pretty trashed. Like I was saying, this whole side's gone. It's torn on this side. And anyway, it's just getting pretty ragged. So it seems like a great body to experiment with. The method I'm going to use is I'm going to cut off the fenders, the flared fenders there, and then cut along the traditional Jeep body hood line until I get up towards the cowl area. Then I'll continue back and give this thing just a little bit of an angle back there so that I can maintain the entire cowl on the with the hood. That will allow it to be more easily hinged. And then for the front, I'm going to try and mimic like what the regular ready to run or kit version of the Wraith had, with that kind of pointy front end, and hopefully I can get that body line to match up for when the hood is closed. Now that I've got the fender flares cut off, I'm going to cut this hood off right along this body line, and then I'm going to follow up this little 45-degree seam that is right here by the cowl. You'll be able to see that on your own body if you're going to attempt this yourselves. But that's the way I'm going to cut that. And then I will shape up these side panels here to look better, because it's going to leave a pretty thin little piece up here more towards the front half of the hood. But I'm going to cut off the hood for now first, and then we'll see what it looks like. I've put the body back on using the normal screw holes, or most of the normal screws that it comes with. One extra thing I'm going to do is that this front up here just kind of hangs now. However, there is that existing cage hole that's up in the front that the kit version and RTR version use, or the regular RTR version. Anyway, I'm going to use my my body reamer here, and going to just dimple, or sorry, poke through at that place, and then I'm going to add a screw there just to keep the front of this body tucked in a little bit better. Should help hold it now, since there isn't anything supporting that front end other than this lower screw here. So if anything did come in, it could rip it there. You could also do the same for this hole up here and kind of at the front of the door area, but for now I'm just going to do this additional one. I've already done the other side, and it does seem to add quite a bit of rigidity. So I've got the body panels mounted up. Now the next thing is to actually do the hinging of the hood, which should probably be the difficult part, just to make sure that everything lines up just right. Now most people are using a simple little electrical wire tie-down strap. You'll probably be able to find them at any hardware store or anything like that. Now if I would have planned ahead a little bit better, I would have had those on hand. However, I didn't, and I just came downstairs tonight to work on this thing a little bit and decided I wanted to do this. So instead of using those things, which would be extremely simple and probably less than $1, I'm going to spend way too much time trying to make my own out of some thin piece of aluminum here. I'm going to take a piece, cut a couple of straps, and bend it around one of these bars just to form it, and then drill a couple of holes and use that as my hinge. I suggest just going and getting those little plastic hangers. It'll save yourself a bunch of time. Alright, I made those two simple straps. They're in place here. Then I place the hood where I think it should go, and then I spotted where I think that those holes fall to these braces. Hopefully I got it right the first shot. We'll see. I'm going to put a couple of holes in the body with my my body reamer again and try and bolt this up, and then we'll...
Oh, you threw them on the Wraith.
That part's done. I've got those hinges drilled and installed, all put on there. My body lines turned out pretty decent. Nothing too exacting or perfect, but for the shape of this body and how quick it was, I think it's good enough. It doesn't look too bad or too off or too out of place. So I think that I'll be just fine with it, and I'll probably run with this body for a while. The only other thing that I had to do was notch around this A-pillar a little bit to allow for clearance when opening the hood. But that was pretty simple, and you can get a good amount of angle when opening that by just taking and going in there maybe a quarter to a half of an inch. And I did that with just a Dremel sanding stone. For the hood latching mechanism, I do plan to use, you can see up here, this is a piece of steel. And now I do need to raise it up slightly, but I've got some magnets that I'm going to attach to the underside of this hood here, and then that will latch down on there. A local guy uses that same method on his truck, and it works out pretty well. So I'm going to take a cue from his build and do that. So we'll start to create a little bit of a bankroll here, and that way I can move on to putting in some of the more expensive upgrades that I plan to do on here in the upcoming weeks. But for now, that's it. We will see you guys next Thursday for week 17, I think. Any questions or anything like that, guys, let me know, and we'll see you next one.